The Galactic Council chamber on Station Zenith 7 had hosted diplomacy for 3,000 years. Its walls had witnessed treaties signed, alliances forged, and conflicts resolved through words rather than weapons. It was a place of civilization, of reason, of peace. Today, it would witness something else entirely. Ambassador Michael Chen of Earth sat in the human delegation's chair, his hands folded calmly on the table before him. His posture was relaxed, almost casual, but everyone in the chamber could feel the tension radiating from the human section like heat from a star about to go supernova. "The Council recognizes Ambassador Chen of Earth," announced High Counselor Vexthan, his crystalline features reflecting the chamber's soft lighting. "You requested this emergency session. Explain why we should concern ourselves with your grievances." Chen smiled. It was not a pleasant smile. "Grievances," he repeated softly. "That's an interesting word choice, High Counselor. Let me tell you about grievances." He activated the holographic display and images flooded the chamber. Human colonies, peaceful settlements on the edges of galactic space, reduced to smoldering ruins. 17 days ago, the Kresh Collective attacked the human colony on Proxima Station. Population, 43,000. Survivors, none. The Kresh claimed it was a buffer zone dispute. Ambassador Kreshter, a towering insectoid creature, clicked his mandibles dismissively. The colony was established in contested space without proper authorization. The collective was within its rights. 13 days ago, Chen continued, his voice taking on an edge that made several counselors shift uncomfortably. The Vorelian Empire intercepted a human medical transport carrying supplies to New Melbourne. They confiscated the shipment, claiming inspection protocols. 3,000 colonists, mostly children, died from a preventable plague outbreak while that medicine sat in a Vorelian warehouse. Ambassador Quareth of the Vorelian Empire fluttered his wings irritably. The transport violated shipping lanes. Regulations exist for a reason. 9 days ago, Chen's voice was getting quieter, which somehow made it more terrifying. The Sindari hegemony decided that human mining operations in the Kepler belt were environmentally disruptive to a nebula that's been dead for 10 million years. They destroyed our facilities. 217 miners. They suffocated when their habitats were breached. 6 days ago, the Threxlon warhost raided a human agricultural world. They claimed they were testing our defenses. They burned the crops, poisoned the water supply, and killed anyone who resisted. Population before the attack, 92,000. Current population, 14,000. The images kept coming, each one more damning than the last. Human settlements destroyed, human ships seized, human citizens killed, enslaved, or simply disappeared. For 8 years, Chen said, his voice now barely above a whisper, humanity has brought these incidents to this council. For 8 years, we've filed formal complaints. For 8 years, we've requested investigations, sanctions, any acknowledgement that human lives matter. He looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes or eye equivalents of every ambassador present. For 8 years, you've dismissed us, called us paranoid, told us we're too new to galactic politics to understand how things work, suggested we're overreacting, made it clear that human concerns are beneath the Council's attention. High Counselor Vexthan's tone was patronizing. Ambassador Chen, I understand your frustration, but you must understand that the Galactic Council cannot intervene in every minor dispute. Minor, Chen repeated. The word seemed to hang in the air like a blade. Tell me, High Counselor, how many of your people have to die before it stops being minor? What's the threshold? 10,000? 100,000? A million? That's not because we've reached it, Chen interrupted, and now his voice was sharp as broken glass. As of yesterday, total human casualties from minor disputes with galactic species have exceeded 173,000 lives. Men, women, children, elderly. Scientists, farmers, miners, teachers, dead, because this council couldn't be bothered to enforce its own laws when the victims were human. He stood slowly, deliberately. So I'm here today with a simple message. We're done asking for justice. We're done filing complaints. We're done pretending that diplomacy works when one side refuses to acknowledge the other's basic right to exist. What exactly are you suggesting? Ambassador Creshter clicked aggressively. That Earth will make war on the entire Galactic Council. No, Chen said, and his smile returned, cold, predatory, wrong on a face that should have been expressing civilized emotions. We're suggesting you learn a truth about humanity that you should have understood from the beginning. He pulled up new images, historical footage from Earth, predators hunting on ancient plains, humans tracking prey across continents, following for days, weeks, until the target collapsed from exhaustion, wolves running down elk, sharks scenting blood from kilometers away, lions coordinating attacks with deadly precision. You see, Chen continued conversationally, most species in this council evolved from prey animals, herbivores who learned to use tools, grazers who developed intelligence to hide from predators. Your instinct when threatened is to freeze, to flock together, to submit to stronger species and hope they leave you alone. He pulled up an image of human eyes, forward-facing, stereoscopic, evolved for tracking prey. Humans evolved from predators, pursuit predators. We didn't wait for food to come to us. We hunted it. We tracked it across continents. We learned to work in packs, to plan, to anticipate our prey's moves. We became the most successful predator species in Earth's history not because we were strongest or fastest, but because we never, ever stopped. The chamber had gone very quiet. And then we got smart enough to start hunting each other, Chen said softly. For 10,000 years, we've been perfecting the art of killing our own kind. We developed strategy, tactics, psychological warfare. We learned how to turn our prey instincts against them. We became very, very good at it. He looked directly at Ambassador Creshter. The Kresh Collective destroyed Proxima Station. What you didn't know is that we've been tracking your military communications for 3 years. We know the attack was ordered by War Master Kreshval from his command ship, the Destiny's Fang. We know he's currently in the Altair system, coordinates 12.447, 8.891, 15.223. We know his shields operate on a rotational frequency that has a 0.3-second gap every 17 seconds. We know his ship's ammunition depot is in the aft starboard section, poorly shielded, vulnerable to kinetic penetration. Kreshter's mandibles opened in shock. How could you possibly? We hunted him, Chen said simply. That's what predators do. We identified our target, learned everything about him, and now we're going to kill him. You wouldn't dare? The attack happens in 17 minutes. By the time this session is over, War Master Kreshval will be dead and his ship will be debris. We'll make it look like an engine malfunction, just like prey animals dying of natural causes. Clean, professional, untraceable. He turned to Ambassador Quareth. The Vorelian Empire confiscated medical supplies that led to 3,000 deaths. What you didn't know is that we've identified every official in the chain of custody. 17 Vorelian bureaucrats who made the decision to hold our medicine. Over the next 6 months, they'll all die. Accidents, mostly, a shuttle malfunction here, a contaminated food supply there, a sudden medical emergency, nothing that can be traced back to humanity. Quareth's wings were rigid with fear. This is assassination, this is terrorism, this is justice, Chen corrected. The council wouldn't provide it, so we will. He looked at the Sindari ambassador. Your mining sabotage killed 217 miners. We've calculated the economic value of each life according to Sindari law. You love putting price tags on things, don't you? The total comes to 14 billion credits. We're going to extract that payment from your economy. Over the next year, mysterious equipment failures will plague your industrial sector. Shipments will go missing. Accidents will happen. Your stock market will crash. You'll never prove it was us, but you'll know. And the Threxlon war host, Chen's eyes found Ambassador Thraxol, a scaled reptilian warrior who'd been sitting in stunned silence. You thought you'd test our defenses? Congratulations, you passed the test. You confirmed something we'd suspected. The Galactic Council will not protect human interests. So we're going to demonstrate what happens when you test a predator species. Over the next month, 17 Threxlon military installations will experience catastrophic accidents. Not attacks. We won't give you the dignity of open warfare. Just accidents, reactor malfunctions, navigation errors that send ships into stars, mysterious viruses in your military networks that cause weapons to misfire during training exercises. He looked around the chamber, his expression calm, reasonable, terrifying in its controlled fury. You pushed us too far, Chen said quietly. You thought we were weak because we followed your rules. You thought we were prey because we asked for justice instead of taking it. You forgot that humans spent millions of years as apex predators before we developed civilization. And you forgot that civilization is a choice we make, a choice that requires reciprocity. You broke the social contract. So now you get to see what humans are like when we stop being civilized. High Counselor Vexthan found his voice, though it trembled. This is madness. You're threatening the entire galactic order. No, Chen replied. We're explaining the new order. Here's how it works. Human lives have value. Human territory will be respected. Human rights will be protected, not because you're generous enough to grant them, but because the alternative is that we hunt you. We don't need to be stronger than you. We just need to be persistent, relentless, patient. That's what pursuit predators do. We outlast our prey. You might have better shields, faster ships, more advanced weapons, but we'll keep coming, we'll adapt. We'll learn, we'll find weaknesses you didn't know you had, and we'll exploit them with the creativity of a species that spent 10,000 years finding new ways to kill each other. Ambassador Creshter tried to regain his composure. The collective has faced warrior races before. The Kresh do not fear. You should, Chen interrupted. Because warrior races fight for honor, glory, territory. They can be reasoned with, negotiated with, satisfied. Humans. When you hurt us, we don't want honor. We want revenge. We want you to suffer exactly as much as you made us suffer. We want your entire civilization to understand that attacking humanity was the worst mistake you ever made. He pulled up casualty projections, economic models, socio-political collapse scenarios for each species that had attacked human interests. The numbers were horrifying, not because of massive military casualties, but because of the systematic, calculated dismantling of entire civilizations through targeted actions that would seem like unfortunate coincidences. "This is terrorism," High Counselor Vexthan said weakly. "This is evolution," Chen corrected. "You created an environment where human diplomacy failed. So we're adapting. We're going back to our roots. We're becoming predators again. And unlike the last time we were predators, now we have intelligence, technology, and a very, very long memory. I move that we immediately grant humanity full protected status." Ambassador Silthera of the Quiet and Collective suddenly spoke up, her voice urgent. Her species, Chen knew, had evolved from prey animals with excellent survival instincts. She recognized a genuine threat when she saw one. "Seconded!" Several other ambassadors called out simultaneously. "All in favor of immediately granting humanity full council protection, including enforcement of territorial integrity and investigation of all past grievances," Vexthan called, abandoning all pretense of formal procedure. The vote was unanimous. Even the species who had attacked human settlements voted in favor, recognizing that the alternative was worse. Chen watched the vote count, then nodded slowly. "Excellent. Now here's what happens next. First, all assets seized from human settlements will be returned within 72 hours. Second, reparations will be paid for all documented casualties at rates determined by the victims' families, not by council committee. Third, every species that attacked human interests will issue formal apologies and surrender the individuals responsible for command decisions." "And if we refuse?" Krechter asked, though his voice lacked conviction. "Then we continue hunting," Chen said simply. "The attacks I described, they've already been planned and resourced. Consider this a conditional ceasefire. Meet our terms and we'll call off our operations. Refuse, and you'll discover exactly how creative humans can be when we decide someone needs to be eliminated." He pulled up one final image, a human child's photo from Proxima Station, smiling at the camera holding a stuffed animal. She'd been 6 years old when the creche destroyed the colony. "Her name was Emma," Chen said softly. "She liked to draw pictures of spaceships. She wanted to be an explorer when she grew up. She died when your bombardment collapsed her school, along with 42 other children." He looked directly at Krechter, and the creche ambassador physically recoiled from the expression in those forward-facing predators' eyes. "Emma's parents survived. They're human. They're predators, and they've given us permission to avenge their daughter. So understand this, every human you killed has a family. Every family remembers. Every memory fuels our determination. You didn't just kill individuals. You created thousands of humans who will spend the rest of their lives hunting you." "That's not justice," Ambassador Quareth whispered. "That's vengeance." "Yes," Chen agreed. "It is because justice requires a functional legal system. You proved yours doesn't work, so we're reverting to the older system, the one that served humanity for millions of years before we got civilized. The one where predators punish threats to the pack." He closed his presentation. "You have 72 hours to begin compliance. For every hour you delay, we eliminate another target. I suggest you move quickly. Predators are patient, but we've been patient for 8 years already." The session ended in chaos, ambassadors frantically contacting their homeworlds, military commanders running threat assessments, diplomats trying to comprehend how completely the situation had shifted. In the human delegation area, Chen's aide, Lieutenant Sarah Morrison, approached quietly. "Sir, the strike on the Destiny's Fang? Executed 13 minutes ago," Chen replied, checking his datapad. "War Master Kreshval is dead. His ship's debris field is expanding into the Altair system. Initial reports are calling it a catastrophic drive failure. And the Vorelian targets. Phase 1 begins tonight. 2 officials will die in unrelated accidents within the next 6 hours." Morrison hesitated. "Sir, were you bluffing about any of it? The systematic targeting, the economic warfare, the—" "Lieutenant," Chen interrupted, his voice tired, "humans bluff in poker games. We don't bluff about vengeance. Every single operation I described has been planned, resourced, and is ready to execute. If they comply with our demands, we'll stand down. If they don't—" He looked at Emma's picture still displayed on his data pad. "If they don't, then they'll learn what every prey species in Earth's history learned. You don't push the predators. And if you do, you better kill them all, because the ones who survive will hunt you until there's nothing left to hunt." 3 days later, the Galactic Council announced unprecedented reforms to its justice system. Every grievance humanity had filed over the past 8 years was being investigated. Reparations were being calculated. Responsible individuals were being arrested. The Kresh Collective issued a formal apology and surrendered 17 military officers to human custody. The Vorelian Empire returned all confiscated supplies and paid damages totaling 30 billion credits. The Sindari hegemony ceded mining rights to 3 resource-rich systems. The Threxlon warhost withdrew from all disputed territories and signed a non-aggression pact. Ambassador Chen accepted these concessions on behalf of humanity, and the systematic elimination campaign was officially suspended. But every species in the Galactic Council understood the new reality. Humanity had shown them the predator within. The creature that lurked beneath civilization, patient and deadly, waiting for the moment when rules no longer protected prey. They'd pushed humanity too far and discovered that the friendly, diplomatic, civilized humans they'd been dismissing were only one choice away from becoming the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The Council had witnessed the predator, and they would never forget.